Now, overall, new data is showing that the U.S. is struggling to attract tourists from overseas. Visits fell 3.4% in June year over year. Trips from 11 of the top visiting countries stalled last month. Tourists from Germany down 3.7%, France 5.5%, Ecuador had the steepest drop at 14%. Skift Editor-in-Chief Sarah Kopit joins us now. Good to see you. The headlines were dire this spring, and visits to the U.S., we can see in the data, right, they've fallen. Those didn't even include Canada and Mexico, and those were also down as well. Do you feel like we have reached a bottom here, and is that why Delta, for instance, is more bullish?
Well, Delta flies out of the United States, too, so I'm not ready to call the bottom yet. Look, Brand USA, both the destination marketing organization, which is responsible for bringing tourists to the United States, and just the wider brand of the United States of America is really hurting right now. What we saw this past month is really now a trend, right? It started in March when we had very steep declines in inbound tourists. It continued in May and now in June. So it's not a one-off. It's really happening. The rest of the world is, they're really not as interested in coming here right now.
And you mentioned it yourself, right? It's a branding and marketing problem. I mean, look, if you speak to people, and I'm sure you have anecdotally, they do not feel that the United States is a safe place for non-citizens right now, whether that's true or not. But are also visitors finding it difficult to secure visas?
Yeah, some of them definitely are. I mean, the immigration policy of the United States right now has made just the welcoming of people who are not citizens of the United States of America. It is more difficult to come here, both from paperwork at the border. We've seen it over and over again since January, since the Trump administration took office. So, you know, when you're coming on vacation, when you're coming inbound, you're going to take your family, you're going to take a trip, really, truly, you want to go somewhere where you feel welcome. And what travelers are telling us with their dollars, with their pocketbooks, is that they don't feel welcome here in the United States.
Sarah, what are the repercussions of this for so many in the United States? And is it falling on deaf ears in the Oval Office?
Yeah, so the one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is just how big of a business travel and tourism is for the United States and for all of the various businesses that it touches in our economy. So right now, if this holds, the U.S. stands to lose $12.5 billion from these projections that are going on right now. So, you know, what's going on in the Oval Office, that is anyone's guess. I don't know if they're sitting there talking about it and wondering what they can do, but they certainly are not, haven't taken many policy moves. As a matter of fact, they just caught in the big, beautiful bill, they cut Brand USA. Again, that's the DMO that's responsible for marketing tourism of the United States. They cut their funding by 80%. So that is one signal that we're seeing out of this White House.
So this is not an industry, clearly, for right now that the Trump administration is interested in supporting. There is a little bit of good news here. These new TSA guidelines, right? We are finally, in most cases, allowed to keep our shoes on. With this irritant gone, I am wondering what picks up the slack here. Are more, Americans going to decide, okay, we can go away for the weekend. The airport's not as much of a hassle as I'm used to it being.
Well, the thing that Americans really are doing right now is taking road trips. That's one thing that we have seen really have a big resurgence, is that people are getting in their car and they're driving, they're going to see other parts of the United States. I think one of the reasons for that, it's not so much the shoes at the airport, although a welcome change for everyone, surely. It's that people are, they're weighing the economy, what's in their bank account, and then the road trip is more of the last minute decision, the last minute trip. We see this in hotels, short-term rentals, all across the board. So that's what people are doing this summer.
Sarah Kopit, we will leave it there for now, but we'll continue to check in with you because it is curious in the sense that this was at one point in time something American governments would welcome people and want them to vacation in the United States. Appreciate your time. Thanks.